Ah, the sound of freshly brewed Bob in the morning. So, I'm not feeling great because, I am off my Humira. I am over 2 weeks past due and my body is angry. But, on a lighter note, it's my birthday. I am officially 26, which feels weird because I'm closer to 30 now than I am 20, and I am not ready to be that old, but we are here. Look at her. She's just so cute. Can you believe that? Look at that. Look at that. That's a baby. That is a whole baby. Just chilling. Can I boop? Look at you. Oops. Look at that baby. Look at this baby. Hello, princess. Hello. Hello, beautiful girl. And then there's my boy, Pumpkin. He's getting neutered tomorrow. Yes, you are. Is Daddy gonna take you to get snipped? Hey, don't fight. Oh, this house is filthy. Oh, well. Look at that. It's just beautiful.
Let's say somebody in your chat, someone in my chat, if they have a hammer to drop the gifts that are trying to go through the glove.
Oh my God, so cute. Okay, we are on chapter 3, titled Emily. My arm hurts from pinching myself every time I remember I scored my dream position. Some little girls dream of being a veterinarian or a doctor. And maybe I had similar dreams once upon a time. But since the harsh world showed itself to me, my dream is to be surrounded by nature and live a peaceful, quiet life. It should be a bit of a red flag that I got hired over the phone without being asked to show references or any proof of culinary experience. But I'm too excited to care. I did have the wherewithal to ask why the position was available, and the woman, Gail, told me because the old cook left unexpectedly. Finding a replacement willing to work in such an isolated area had been a struggle for them. If I had any friends to share the news of my new job opportunity with, I'm sure they'd tell me this is a recipe for a horror movie disaster. But thanks to Daryl, I lost all those. So no voices of reason for me, only my own. Loud hope blaring that all this will work out. As I walk down the desolate dirt road, 3 miles from where the city bus dropped me off, I raise my phone overhead, attempting to catch a signal. Maybe I didn't think everything through. I'm really off the grid, which sounded great, but now that I'm lost in the middle of nowhere, I'm starting to second guess my decision. Did I just escape a life-threatening situation to jump into another one? Just as panic wraps its spangling fingers around my throat, a squatting cluster of stone buildings comes into view as I reach the top of a hill. I sigh in relief, my shoulders relaxing and my fingers tightening around the handles of my 2 suitcases. I pick up my pace, charging towards my new home. A white-haired woman steps outside the door nearest the road. Hello, she calls enthusiastically as she waves. I wave back, unable to hide my grin as I take in my surroundings. Rolling green hills, lush lines of produce, white lines hanging to dried, wooden chicken coops, canoes. It's a storyboard come to life. I'm Gail, the parish administrator. You must be Emily. She yells when she's only a few paces ahead of me. She wears a long green skirt that falls to her ankles. Her white hair is tied behind her head, and she sports a white, friendly grin, and her wrinkled, strewn face. I pictured her in a nun uniform when I spoke to her on the phone. It settles my nerve that there's another employee here who isn't a nun or a priest. Like, maybe I will fit in after all. I drop my bags at my feet and shake her outstretched hand. Hi, it's nice to meet you. This place is so beautiful. She places her hands on her hips and looks around, the sun catching the gold flakes in her hazel eyes. Yes, God's splendor truly does dwell in this place. I nod with a smile, clamming up a bit. Of course, I knew I'd be employed by a Catholic church, and everyone I'd be working with alongside would be all religious and shit. Still, it's not until this moment that I realize I didn't know anything about Catholicism. I don't know how to speak the language to fit in, and I don't know if they'll still want me to work for them if they knew I was a dirty heathen descended from hell. This feels like my first test, and I rack my brain for a response. Parish, please, I mutter, stumbling over the two words. Gail squints her eyes and looks at me. She laughs. Was that the first time you've ever said that? My cheeks beat red and my heart rate increases. Maybe. So long, dream job. She studies me for a long moment before laughing and slapping my back. You don't need to pretend to be something you're not here. Sure, we're a rural Catholic church and look old-fashioned, but we're not as stuffy as we look. She winks. Oh, thank God, I say with a sigh of relief. There you go. You even got in that one. You'll fit in just fine. She grabs my bags for me. I resist a bit, unsure if a woman her age can carry my luggage, but when she pulls back, revealing her impressive strength, I let go of my bags and allow the kind gesture. Follow me, she says. I'll show you around. I take one last look at the beautiful nature around me before following Gail into the stone building. I take a long breath, feeling the fresh air fill my lungs and cleanse my nerves. Maybe I am the main character at the start of some rom-com. I'm not interested in flinging myself into a romance at the moment. Probably not for a long while after everything I've gone through. But maybe in a year or two, I could meet a sexy farmer and my life would be my own. Hope feels sticky and sweet on my fingertips, a sensation I almost forgotten. Here's the kitchen, Gail says, as we make our way through the wooden doorway. You'll have free range here. You can find your produce and seasonings in the garden. You'll have to make a list of other items you need in town. We get meats and other essentials delivered once a week. I nod, swiveling my head to register the rustic room around me. A butcher block island sits in the middle of the space. White cabinets, stainless steel appliances line the cream blue walls. Birds chirp through the opened windows over the sink, and the plants drape over the high surfaces. This is great, I say, unable to contain my excitement. I think so too. I'd love for this to be my workplace, but sadly I only know how to make mediocre grilled cheese. She walks towards the other side of the room. You'll find all the cooking essentials you'll need in the drawers and cabinets, but let me know if you need anything else. I nod, not mentioning that I haven't even owned a cheese grater in my adult life. I imagine I can more than make do with whatever utensils are provided. Let me show you to your room, she says, turning to the room closest to the kitchen. It's simple. White walls, a dark wooden bed frame, holding a full-size mattress, blue quilt folded on the end of the bed. Matching dresser rests against the wall, and 2 end tables sits on either side of the bed. Light spills through the open window, shadows dancing across the walls from the swaying curtains. It's not much, but hopefully you'll be comfortable. It's perfect. I can't mask my giddy smile. It's clean and safe and all mine. I couldn't ask for anything more. Gail smiles at me, warmness and knowing look in her eyes. Great. Muffled laughing streams from a room across the hall. Oh, that must be the priests. They'll be the people you're primarily cooking for. They're the only other people that live here full time. It doesn't sound like they're too busy. Let me introduce you. She knocks twice on the wooden door before someone yells to open it from the other side. She cracks it open and sticks her hand in. Emily, the new cook, is here. Yay, someone exclaims. Send her in, says another voice. Gail opens the door wide and steps to the side. I stare across the threshold into the office. A large oak desk rests parallel to me. On the other side sits a well-built man with curly brown hair, dark and haunting brown eyes, a strong jaw, and wearing a black shirt with the quintessential priestly collar. Sitting on the edge of the desk is another man with a dirty blonde shaggy hair tucked behind his ears. He's tall, not as stocky as the other man, but fit. His green and yellow speckled eyes shine through the room like a mythical beacon. Both of them look to be in their late 20s, early 30s. They study me intently, thick silence silencing us and seeming to last for an eternity. Finally, it's broken. Hello, I'm Father Robert, says the man sitting behind the desk. I gulp, my muscles freezing around my bones. And I'm Father Laurent. Father, fuck me. I knew there would be a priest. But, hot priest? What kind of rom-com is this? Oh boy. Okay, quick kitty break. Look at these two. Look at them. They love each other. So cute. I definitely like it. I think I would prefer the book just be about Bob and Larry getting it on, but I'm also a big fan of a 3-way relationship, and this is a good old self-insert 3-way relationship, so I'm excited to see where this goes. I don't think I'm gonna wait to read chapter 4. I think I'm gonna read it today because it's my birthday, so I can read 2 chapters in a day. Why not? Who's gonna stop me? I don't remember the last time I've been in a church, but as I sit in the wooden pews facing the elaborate stained glass window above the lonely pulpit, memories swirl around me. It feels unnatural, but I know what to do. Flip down the long stool before me, kneel, bring my hands to my face, and close my eyes. I've seen enough movies. Thankfully, I'm here by myself because I need to get these words out loud. I can't just say them in my head. I've always been a yapper. Hey God, it's me, Emily. I know it's been a while since I talked to you. Actually, I don't know if I've ever talked to you or even believe in you. Anyway, I'm just here to chat and beg you to give me some direction in life as I start this new chapter. I want to let you know I'm open to whatever life you have for me. A horrible thought pops into my head. On second thought, I really don't want to be a nun. Don't get me wrong, the outfits are sick. I'm totally down for the eternal female friendship bit. I just need a little dick. I just need a little dick every now and then. You understand, right? We most definitely understand. My blood solidifies in my veins, and I shoot my eyes open. Father, oh no! This is mortifying. I shoot my eyes open. Father Robert stands before me, dressed in an all-black robe. A white collar covers his Adam's apple, and a rosary hangs to his chest. You look like you need something to fill that hole inside of you. Whoa! Whoa! Hold on, that escalated quickly now. Okay. Father Laurent slips from behind Father Robert in a matching attire. Both of their faces are stern, authoritative, but their words feel different, suggestive, and loose. I attempt to pick myself up from my knees. I'm sorry. I thought I was alone. Father Robert extends a hand, holding me back down to the stool. Don't get up. He grabs my chin, bringing my gaze to his dark and heated eyes. You're perfect right where you are. Sir, my God, ever-loving Lord, you're perfect right where you are. I gulp loud enough that it echoes through the wooden, empty room. Father Laurent walks around and down the pew until he reaches me, placing a large hand on my shoulder. Don't look so nervous. You asked God to... You asked God to fill you up. And here we are. ready to use you for his will. He presses against me, his large erection hitting my arm through his back slacks. What the fuck? We're on chapter 4. How did this escalate so quickly? How on fucking earth? Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck? What the ever-loving fuck? His erection, his large erection hitting my arm through his black slacks. Desire swimming through my senses. I'm thoroughly embarrassed. And I can't tell if the two mean the suggestive words that are coming from them. But I can't help but feel the warmth rushing to my core. I didn't even know if I had a priest kink, but goddamn, is this hot as fuck. Robert Laurent. Father Robert applies pressure to my mouth, forcing my jaw to snap open. What the fuck? Are you ready to take what the Lord orders of you? My eyes water from his fingertips. Still digging into my jaw. I don't move, though, waiting for what happens next. Father Robert reaches for his belt, moving slowly as he undoes his pants. I can't turn my head to look at Father Laurent, but I hear the jiggling of his belt buckle, and I feel something warm and hard slap against my arm. Grab him, Father Robert says, his hands down his pants, not revealing himself to me yet. I don't hesitate, doing as I'm told. I gasp once my fingers attempt to wrap around Father Laurent. He's hard. So hard. Unlike any cock I've ever felt before. He's also smooth. Almost like I don't know, a cucumber. My son is here. Cover your ears, boy. You don't need to hear this debauchery. I don't know. A cucumber? I break free from Father Robert's grasp and turn my head. Sure enough, a firm and green cucumber jerts from where Father Laurent's cock should be. My mouth waters. Instead of being disturbed, I'm completely aroused. The cool air tears my bare nipples, pebbling them even more. Wait, my bare nipples? I look down and sure enough, I'm stark naked. Ah, I knew it. It had to be a dream. I was like, there's no way we're going this hard, this fast. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. her having a horny dream. Okay, I jolt from my bed. I breathe heavy and my heart racing as I assess the dark room around me. I'm not a church cemetery with two hot priests cornering me like I'm prey to be devoured. No, I'm in my room, covered in sweat and in an insatiable need and pounding between my legs. It was a dream, a sexy, weird, and totally inappropriate dream. Fuck, I mutter, falling back down and pulling my pillow over my head. It's only the first night. How am I supposed to thrive here when I'm already having fucked up thoughts about my employers? I guess technically God's my employer, but I don't think he'd be too happy about me wanting to fuck his pure, shining golden boys. Poor Emily. What the? Guys, chill out. When I met Father Robert and Laurent, I barely said 10 words. My throat clogged up. And when I was sure I stood in their presence for much longer, I might pass out. I'm not usually like this, so boy crazy that my blood pressure plummets. Maybe it's the feeling of safety after escaping an abusive relationship. Maybe it's the fact that they're priests. I may not know a lot about Catholicism, but I do know priests are married to God and are never allowed to be romantic and are never allowed to be in a romantic relationship. And maybe my trauma has rewired my brain to be magnetically attracted to men I know won't hurt me because I can't even have them. Or maybe, and probably the most likely, Father Robert and Father Laurent are two of the hottest men I've ever seen. How dickish of them to resign to a life of celibacy with looks like that. It's just selfish, honestly. I clamp my eyes shut and count my breaths, trying to will myself to fall back asleep. The images of Father Robert's heated eyes sear into my brain. The feeling of Father Laurent's cucumber cock in my hand still warms my skin. Why did I imagine his cock as a cucumber? Fuck if I know. Maybe it was my brain's weird way of letting me know I need some refreshments. I abandon my attempts at sleep and pop out of bed, putting on my slipper and tiptoeing out of my bedroom door. It's like I'm a teenager breaking the rules and sneaking in the cabinets for a midnight snack, straightening my spine once I remember Gail telling me the kitchen is my domain. I'm the head cook after all. If I want to make a midnight snack out of chopped cucumbers, I'm doing it. It's dark in the kitchen. The only source of light is an almost full moon outside the window above the sink. I stumble feeling around the wall until I find the light switch. I scream. Father Laurent, now visible, sits at this island in the middle of the kitchen, eating a bowl of cereal. Boo, he whispers with a smile, milk dripping down the corner of his lips. He wears a white t-shirt and navy blue sleep pants. I will my eyes to scan him. I will my eyes not to scan him more. eager but scared to notice his frame outside of his priest outfit. "I'm so sorry," I whisper in between labored breaths. My hand is placed over my beating heart as I will my nerves to settle. I'm never falling back to sleep. This is too much excitement for one night. He rolls his shoulders to put down his bowls, bringing his long finger to his chin. "Why are you sorry?" "I didn't mean to disturb you. I didn't know anyone was in here. This is your kitchen. Besides, I was sitting in the dark like a weirdo. I'm the one who should be sorry." He's right, of course. But this is my first night, and he's lived here much longer. I can't help but feel like I'm the one intruding. But the casual cadence of his voice and his comfortable posture at his stool makes me feel more at ease. "Did you also come for a midnight snack?" he asked. "Yeah, I did, but I'm okay. You can keep eating. I'll be fine until morning." "Nonsense." He pulls out his stool next to him. "Grab yourself a bowl and join me. I'd love to get to know you better. We didn't have much time after our first introduction." Pulling out a white ceramic bowl and bringing it to the island, where a glass jug of milk and a cereal box of Reese's Puffs already sits. It's not the chopped cucumber I had in mind, but it's for the best. I should probably keep my distance from cucumbers for a little while. I smile and shake my head as I pour the brown balls into my bowl, trying my best to ignore Father Laurent's searing stare. "What?" he asks. "I just haven't had these since I was a kid." "Well, that's just sad." It's odd. He doesn't talk like I'd expect a priest to sound. He's young, but he's a man of God. I figured he'd sound as formal as a grandpa. I walk over to the other side of the counter, taking the seat next to him. Never thought to buy it at the store. That's the whole point of being an adult. You get to buy all the junk food your parents limited whenever you want. I take a big bite, feeling the tingles of nostalgia in the peanut butter taste. Except when you're an adult, you can't just use your parents' wallet to buy things, and now you have to worry about shit like your health. It takes a second for me to realize I just cursed. Shit. I clamp my hand over my mouth. "What is happening right now?" Father Laurent says as he leans closer, studying my face with his spoon pointed at me. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that." "Say what?" Maybe he hadn't heard it. "The bad word. Don't worry about it. It won't happen again." He laughs, taking another spoonful of cereal. "You don't need to worry about that here. I'd watch it a little bit more when you're in front of the patrons, but you don't need to pretend you're something you're not in front of us." "But isn't cursing a sin? Doesn't it offend you?" I haven't been around a lot of religious people, but I assumed it was a no-no. "It's just a word, Emily." My name sounds like warm brown sugar out on his tongue. He says it like he held the word in his mouth and savored it before giving it back to me. Something heavy swims through me, and I must shake slightly to bring myself back to the moment. He goes on. "Words are just words. It's the actions that matter." He brings another spoonful of cereal to his mouth, keeping his eyes on mine as a drop of milk falls from the corner of his mouth He quickly cleans it up with his knuckle. I avert my gaze back to the bowl in front of mine, twirling the brown balls and darkening the milk. I didn't feel hungry anymore. That makes sense. Are you a religious person? He asks. I tense. Surprisingly, no one has asked me this during my short interview process. I'd figured it would come up by now, and I have been dreading the moment I'd have to answer. I love this place, and I would say anything to stay. But the truth will come up. I can't even go a few minutes without swearing in front of the priest. I breathe out. I haven't been, but honestly, at this point in my life, I'm looking for something that makes sense, something that gives me purpose. He chuckles warm and low. That's exactly how I felt when I joined the ministry. Really? I turn to him. I think about my prayer and my dream. I still do not want to become a nun, and hopefully my search for purpose in the parish will not end with my celibacy. I mean, obviously I took it to the extreme, he says as if reading my mind. I study his tanned face, hazel eyes, and chiseled bone structure. There has to be more to the story. He's so beautiful. How could someone like him choose this kind of life? But who am I to judge? I'm so lost in my thoughts that I can barely notice the thick silence that's rolled over us. Father Laurent stares at my lips, as if waiting to see when they'll move next. It's suddenly much too warm in the kitchen. Well, I should get back to bed. Big first day, making new boss's breakfast. I'm not your boss, Emily. There's my name again, sounding dirty on his lips. Then what are you? Your co-worker. Your father. He smiles. Did he mean to make a joke? A weird joke? I stand, picking up my bowl. Let's stick with co-workers. I already have enough issues with my actual father. Right. Let's stick with that. Oh shit. Is that the time? He says, looking at the digital clock over the oven. Yeah. I know, it's pretty late. I stop. Wait a second. Did you just say shit? Oops. He puts his finger over his grin, and his eyes widen. Am I already a bad influence? He laughs. No, don't worry. I've always had a dirty mouth. My skin pricks. A priest with a dirty mouth? Oh, Emily, I promise Father Robert and I are nothing like the other priests you're used to. I think he means it lightheartedly, as if they're just two young guys keeping it cool. But I sense a hint of flirtation in his voice, as if he's ready to show me just how different he can be. No, absolutely not. I shake my head and walk around the hallway, out of the kitchen. Well, good night, Father Laurent. Sweet dreams, Emily, he calls after me. There's no way he could know that I woke up from that goddamn dream. Does it feel like he can read me better than the Bible? Next chapter is Laurent. Do I want to read chapter 5 or do I want to wait? And that, my friends, is an example of how great our God's love is for us. We are not worthy of his grace, and yet, time and time again, he washes away our sins with his blood. Robert says, closing the leather-bound notebook atop the podium. I sit on the wooden chair on the stage behind him, We take turns delivering the sermon. One week it's Robert's, the next mine. It's not a typical arrangement, but when the parish hired us many years ago, they thought it would be a good way to get us settled into our roles. It turns out that the congregation loves the switch up of our delivery styles and having 2 priests instead of 1. No one has asked one of us to move churches or step down, and Robert and I can't complain, especially me. I could watch Robert speak for the rest of my days. The way his dark eyes narrow on an invisible point at the back of the congregation, his strong and deliberate hand intense around his notes, his side profile illuminated by the stage lights. Whenever it's my turn to speak, I thought I revel in the knowledge that Robert sits where I am now, watching me. And sometimes I like to imagine the same thoughts I have rushed through him at the sight of me. Now, let us stand and sing, "Holy God, we praise thy name." The congregation noisily to their feet, breaking. 90% of our patrons are widowed women above the age of 60. We hear the whispers at the monthly potlucks. They're here for one reason and one reason alone, and it's not to share knitting secrets, me out of my trance. It doesn't matter that we're betrothed to God in the ages of some of their grandsons. These women like their young, masculine-eyed candy. I don't blame them. Hell, they're here for the same reason I am. I raise belting out my notes. I could sing in my sleep, my eyes never leaving Robert. He closes his eyes as if the congregation's voices tucked him into an ethereal hug. He's the real deal, unlike me, who's faking it most of the time. He's always been that way. In seminary school, I was in awe of him, even more so than I am now. He didn't have any questions, only answers. I feel like God spoke to him like his closest confidant. I was jealous at first. Why him and not me? I quickly learned that jealousy wasn't that at all. I didn't want to be him. I just wanted him. All of him. I came to seminary school to find my purpose. Life was always fun. Always easy. But there was something missing. My uncle had been a priest, and my father spoke of him with the most esteemed honor. I was 19 with no direction. I thought I'd fuck around seminary school and find out if the Catholic Church had all the answers they always proclaimed to have. It felt just like Emily described last night, an attempt to find my purpose. I was lost just like her, searching for something. And boy, did I find it. If only I knew the God of my attention would steer more in me than I ever thought possible. The celibacy thing actually wasn't an issue. I'd had my fair share of pussy in my early years, and it always disappointed me. It was so meaningless, so fast, missing something entirely. Those few nights with Robert, with just my hand, his labored breaths, and my mind did more for me than any of my previous sexual experiences. Of course, something was missing. Always something missing. The song ends, and I snap myself out of my thoughts. I'll need to return to my quarters and take care of myself before lunch. I thank God daily for my strong hand and my healthy imagination. Priests aren't supposed to jack themselves off. I know. But I have a looser interpretation of the Bible. Why would God give us these needs if I shouldn't act on them? It's not like it's hurting anyone. Sometimes when I'm stroking myself and Robert's face comes to mine, it's like God sent it to me himself. My self-pleasure isn't as frequent as I'd like. The walls are thin, but I couldn't control myself after talking to Emily last night. After she left the kitchen, I wobbled back to my room, hard and throbbing. Oh. Thankfully that our conversation didn't last longer, so my inappropriate thoughts didn't take a hold of me. God, we're getting okay. Her plump lips, her wide eyes, her breast pushing against her thin sleep shirt. It had all been too much. And then when she opened her mouth, God damn it, she was funny, and talking to her felt easy. She was nervous and flustered in my presence, something I'm used to from the older women here, but never with someone who looks like her, who smells and sounds like her. It was a relief, one I praised the Lord for, that after all these years I winked to Robert, a fresh face came to mind. Instead of imagining myself taking his dick in my mouth, his warm cum running down my throat, I imagined myself with my face between her breasts, suffocating me as I plumbed in and out of her sweet and tight cunt. Jesus Christ. Okay. What the fuck? Her sweet tight cunt. Okay. Get that tattooed across my forehead, I guess, now. I'd come fast and thought it would hold me off for a few days. Maybe my obsession with Robert was stayed. But nope. All it took was one look from him this morning, and he stumbled out of his room across from mine. His hair a mess, his eyes half hooded. God, I wanted to push him back into his room and kiss the sleep off his face. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord, Robert says, the congregation responding with an Amen. He turns to me. Could you tell I made half that shit up on the spot? He whispered, leaning in. Not at all, dear boy, I say gently, slapping his chin. I never miss an opportunity to touch his chin. After 15 years of pining for him, I might be so far into my delusion, but sometimes I swear my touch elicits a visceral response from him, even as he tries to hide it. We make our way off the stage, outside the pews, and to the chapel doors to say goodbye to our patrons. The women stall, chatting with with the other big-hatted ladies. Until... Oh, hi, baby boy! Big-hatted ladies, until we're at our post at the entrance. We barely get a second to breathe before they line up, ready to shake our hands and banter. Thank you for coming, I say, grabbing Garthanitha's wrinkled hand. I'll never miss a Sunday service. I might mention that you boys look rather frail. I heard you lost your cook. How about I come over sometime this week and cook you a proper dinner? That is kind of you, but we actually just hired a new cook. As if sent by angels, I catch a glimpse of Emily's glossy brown hair poking behind the aisles of grays. And there she is, I say, stepping to the side to catch Emily's eyes. Sorry, she mouths to the other women, staring her down as she scoots past to get closer to me. She stands just inches away, her earthy and lavender smell pulling me in. Her eyes dart, and she tucks a strand of her hair behind her ears before reaching up on her tiptoes so I can hear her soft words. I'm sorry, I was just going to wait until you were both finished. Lunch is ready. I didn't know when to have it ready or when you two normally eat. It's just soup, so it'll probably get cold, but I can always heat it up. Nerves radiate from her words. It occurs to me that no one has filled her in on the schedule or given her any orientation. I feel like a dick. I reached out, grabbing her upper arm. It's okay. We'll be there. Just in a moment. You've timed it perfectly. I smiled at her and watched as a bright color warmed her cheeks. She's so responsive to my words. Blood rushes to my groin. Oh, God! And I angle my legs and I pull away from her. Okay, great, she says, her eyes shifting to Robert's next to me. I watch as he directs his conversation from Mrs. Fran, his eyes catching hers in a thick stare. Emily's cheeks redden even more before she pushes back through the crowd and disappears. I study Robert, now back to his conversation. Maybe I'm reading him wrong. Maybe he senses something between Emily and me and is wary of what's to come. I can't be sure, but something was in that look he gave her. His hands clench in his side, his veiny thick. Oh, Father Laurent, I have something for you. Miss Menges grabs my attention, popping in front of me with a baby blue knitted pile in her hands. The weather is starting to chill, and I didn't want you to catch a cold all the way up this hill. I grab the fabric from her, bringing it up to the line of vision and straightening it out. It's a beautiful sweater, perfectly knitted, with a yellow duck in the middle. It's an odd choice, but I can't deny that it is very much me. Oh, Barbara Manatee. You are the one for me. Barbara Manatee, I explain, wrapping the old woman into a friendly hug. She giggles like a schoolgirl, blushing and barely able to form a sentence before she scramps off. Robert leans over once she leaves. You can't be talking to these women like that. You're encouraging them. He scolds. I love it when I get him angry. He furrows his brows, his serious eyes. God, it sends a jolt through my body. I hold up the sweater with a shit-eating grin. You're just jealous that no one is knitting you a sweater. He examines it. Yeah, so jealous, he says with an eye roll. The sanctuary is an is empty now, and Robert and I start to close the large 10-foot wooden door. Before we shut them completely, a frail voice sounds behind us. I don't think you want me trapped in here with you boys. I startle, turning to meet the old woman, dressed in a dark cloak. A large boil sits upon her crooked nose, and she smiles up at me with a gapped-toothed grin. My heart hammers in my chest, and I'm unable to find the words. Luckily, Robert finds his first. I'm so sorry, ma'am. We didn't realize anyone else was in here with us. She waves her frail hands in dismissal. No bother. I have a way of sneaking around to get the best views. She looks up and down with a knowing smile. I stall, wondering what she's implying. I don't think we've had the pleasure. I'm Father Laurent. I extend my hand. She eyes my offering and returns her gaze up to my eyes. I know who you are. She looks at Robert. I know who you both are. Probably better than you know yourselves. Robert and I exchange a look. We've both had our fair share of patrons losing their marbles right before our eyes. Robert clears his throat and steps forward. Can I give you a ride home, ma'am? She laughs, a screeching sound. I can take care of myself. You two, though. Both of you need some help. Yep, definitely lost her marbles. I nod and smile. All right, ma'am. Thanks so much for coming. Hope to see you next week. I open the door enough for her to exit, walks past us and through the now cleared entryway. Robert and I exchange an eye roll and a smile. When I return my gaze to the woman, I startle. She stands right before me, eyes glued to mine. Tonight is the harvest moon, where the spirits come to play. All that is hidden will be brought to light. You two need a transformation. Ah! It's up. No, what are you doing? You two need a transformation. It's up to both of you to define the true fruits of your soul. She pulls the trail of her cloak behind her, turning in the dramatic fashion before scurrying down the walkway away from the church. What the fuck? Robert says slowly, turning to me with a laugh. This is what I'm talking about, Lauren. We can't encourage these women. Some of them are just seconds away from losing their minds. My heart beats in my chest, and I don't take my eyes off the woman as she grows smaller and winds down the hill. Robert's casual words pull me back to the moment. I'm not one to scare easily, but something about that woman spooked the crap out of me. I part my lips. Barbara Manatee is a saint. Reminds me of my non. I hope that your non didn't want to fuck with you because Miss Manatees definitely wants to fuck you. Fuck. I definitely need to jerk myself before lunch, watching Robert's lip curl around the syllables I dreamed about him before. I've dreamed about him moaning into my ear. It's too much. I shake my head, searching for a response. That masks my thoughts. I jog in front of him, turning to face him as I pull the duck sweater over my head. You might have a point. This duck sweater is rather sexy. Boo, he shouts, cupping his mouth with his hands. Come on. This doesn't do it for you? I slowly spin. He runs up to me and pushes me. Yeah, you wish. I chuckle, biting my tongue. Because, fuck yeah, I absolutely wish. And the next chapter is Robert. For some reason, I never filmed an outro to the video. Yeah, I've spent like a month editing this. I shouldn't have read so many chapters at once because I got very overwhelmed. It's after Christmas now. Oh, yeah. Good book so far. I'm really enjoying it.